Anandi and Preksha are spending their weekend escaping the city. They've packed their gear for a camping trip, racing each other down a sun-drenched road that leads straight into the heart of a dense forest. Near the edge of the woods, they stop to ask a local fruit seller for directions. They're looking for a river, a perfect spot to set up camp for the night. The vendor tells them exactly what they want to hear, a river just 3 kilometers away. He mentions that it holds what shouldn't be there. He still points them toward the trail, watching as they turn their bikes toward the trees. This diagram illustrates the mechanics of a funnel trap. We can trace the specific layers of this encounter, from this first interaction to the final moments at the water, to see how a predatory system actually functions. By providing local guidance and a clear destination, the vendor ensures the girls feel confident enough to leave the main road. His directions provide the psychological safety needed to step willingly into an environment they don't understand. As they move deeper into the trees, the environment begins to shift. Sunlight vanishes through the thick canopy, and the woods fall into a deep, unnatural shadow, much faster than a standard sunset. The geography of the trail begins to warp. The promised 3-kilometer ride stretches past 6 kilometers, and the destination remains invisible. When they check their GPS trackers, the screens show no signal. Stranded in the dark with no way to navigate back, they have no choice but to set up camp exactly where the forest wants them. The situation eventually forces them apart. To boil water for food, they need dry wood, a basic survival requirement that ensures the girls are no longer together when the forest finally closes in. Searching alone, Anandi finds the river. She wades into the moonlit water to bathe, but as she enjoys the silence, an unseen force takes hold. She is slipped beneath the surface without a sound. Scrambling the GPS and warping the trails are just the beginning. The system's actual goal is to strip away the safety of numbers, isolating each target so they can be picked off individually. Back at the campsite, Preksha sits alone by a small lantern, waiting for her friend to return from the brush. A figure eventually emerges that looks and sounds exactly like Anandi. By mirroring her friend's appearance, the entity uses their existing bond to lure Preksha away from the camp and toward the river. As they walk, the surroundings become increasingly strange. The figure moves at supernatural speed, and the air fills with the heavy, misplaced scent of henna. Driven by the need to stay with her friend, Preksha ignores the warning signs. They finally reach the bank, but the idyllic river Anandi found has been replaced by something far more degraded. The water is now dark and sluggish. As it laps against the rocks, Preksha sees the true color of the current. The entire river is running red with blood. The success of this stage relies on weaponized trust. By wearing a familiar face, the entity bypasses the victim's natural survival instincts until the chance to escape has completely vanished. The figure sheds Anandi's appearance and steps into the light. It is Virika, a pale, horrifying bride, adorned in tarnished jewelry and a ruined wedding dress. Virika's wedding procession fell into a gorge decades ago, drowning everyone involved. Now she hunts for Sahelians, bridesmaids, to join her in a ceremony that refuses to stay buried. Virika tells Preksha that her best friend is already part of the party. Realizing she is trapped, Preksha makes a desperate jump into the bloody river. The moment she hits the water, dozens of pale hands reach upward from the depths. These are the missing girls who came before her, and they drag Preksha down into the dark. The entity hunts for a specific purpose, to recruit companions for a wedding ritual she is doomed to repeat. Every new victim is simply a new recruit for her eternal bridal party. By the next morning, the forest is bright and calm again, the blood in the river is gone, and the shadows have retreated. 2 new girls on bicycles arrive at the edge of the woods, looking for the same escape their predecessors sought. They encounter the same fruit seller. He smiles and gives them the same directions, promising it's the perfect place to camp. This diagram shows the haunting's mechanical loop. It moves from the human guide through spatial isolation and psychological mimicry
ending in physical execution. Once the trap is sprung, the system resets, returning to the guide to await new victims. The true horror of the Virika story isn't the ghost herself, but the efficiency of the cycle. It is an inescapable system where the living and the dead cooperate to ensure that